I finished high school in 1941, class of 41, at New Albany High School. And I had to go to work because I didn't have good enough grades to get a scholarship to college. And my parents obviously couldn't afford it. And after I completed high school, I couldn't get a job in New Albany. And they were building Columbus Air Force Base at that time, so I went down to Aberdeen to the post office there, the federal courthouse there, to take a civil service examination based on the shorthand and typing and bookkeeping that I had taken in high school. I took that civil service exam and pretty soon I passed it with flying colors, and got a letter from the Civil Service Commission saying they were very sorry, but they didn't have any openings at Columbus Air Force Base, which I now know was a lie. But would I care to go to Washington? Would I care to go to Washington, D.C.? Of course I would. I marked yes and sent that thing back and didn't say anything to my mother and father. And I was 18 years old. And when I did not expect to get orders that fast, but that was like in December of 41. Well, it was right after the war started, December 41, and in February, I got orders to report to Washington, D.C. to a certain place on March 27th, 1942. And I thought, oh God, what am I going to do now? I'm going to get there. I've got to tell my mother and father. I can't just run away. So I told them both, and they both broke down and cried. I couldn't believe that my father would do that. Daddy said, oh, honey, you're too young to go that far off. And I said, well, you said it would be okay for me to go to Columbus Air Force Base, and that's pretty far off, too. So anyway, we worked it out, and my mother made me some clothes, and my dad borrowed $125 from a bank in New Albany, which I repaid in 6 months, by the way, after I got to Washington. And I was making $120 a month, my dear, in Washington.
That's a lot of money.
That was a lot of money.